Hey everybody, it's Craig Campbell from Pastor Craig's Vintage Cards, and want to make a video here for a couple of purposes. One, I wanted to kind of go through my Eddie Mathews collection. I've had a few pickups here in the last month, and going into Strongsville, I have two cards I'm really looking to pick up. I'd like to have three pickups, but really, realistically, there's going to be two, and I'll talk about it as I go along. But and the other purpose of the video is Mike and Chris. They just got done doing Showcase Showdown yesterday, and it was for Eddie Mathews. And during the introduction, they always say, now, if you want to play along, pause the video and get your Eddie Mathews cards out and put them in order and go along with us. So I did that. I have quite a few of the Mathews cards, and so today, this morning, I went back and got all my cards and stacked them up in order, and I'm going to go ahead and go through them. So it's kind of a multi-purpose video. One to kind of uh, play along with Chris and Mike on the Showcase Showdown, which is just a great half hour. I just really enjoy that every week, and I was so thankful that Eddie Mathews came up. For once, I get to play along. But then I kind of want to do my Mathews collection before Strongsville, just to kind of have a video of it. And this here is one of my favorite cards here, this 54 Red Man Tobacco signed by Mathews. No tab, but I just really enjoy that. That's one of my favorite Mathews cards. And this is another one that I really just like. It's 64 stand-up. This is a short print, an SGC4, and a pretty hard card to find. And so really happy to have that one. And this is a card I picked up quite a while ago. It's a 2018 for the 500 Home Run Club, which Eddie Mathews done. He's got 512 home runs, and I just like the look of the card. Very enjoyable. And then this one here I've gotten recently is the Fence Buster card, SGC4 with Hank Aaron, Eddie Mathews, Joe Adcock, and Del Crandall. So one of my favorite cards. And this here is a recent pickup, which I'm really happy with. And this is the Bill and Bob postcard. A tough one to find. And so really happy to have this slabbed up, and just really goes well in the Eddie Mathews collection, and real thankful about that. But here, let's get started, and I'm going to kind of do a little commentary as we go along here with the cards. And this is a real nice 1968 PSA 7 Eddie Mathews with the Detroit Tigers, and that year they won the World Series, and Eddie didn't play much at all, and but he was on the World Series roster. They liked him for his leadership, and so just a real nice 1968 Eddie Mathews. I like the card. That look, he's just kind of looking off in the distance. And I saw Denny McLain at a card show in Pittsburgh in January. He was signing autographs, and so I asked him about Eddie Mathews, and he said that Eddie Mathews, at this point in his career, he's pretty used up. He was had seen much better days. Of course, he started in 1952, so he was well on his way into his career. But he had some back problems, and he had many issues. And one of the struggles that Eddie Mathews had was alcoholism. And in 1968, when he was with the Tigers, McLain said when he was sober, he was a great guy. When he was drinking, not so much of a great guy. But Eddie Mathews did struggle with alcohol through most of his career, and I'll even give you a little bit more information on that as we go along. But just a real nice final card, 1968, in a PSA 7. This card is kind of growing on me. It's the 67 Topps. This isn't a PSA 8. At first, I didn't really like this card, but the more I look at it, the more I kind of like it. And he'd gotten traded to the Astros, and it was a pretty sad deal, actually, on the trade, because they didn't even let him know. He found out through the media that he had been traded after all those years with the Braves from 1952 through 1966. And they're pretty disrespectful for them to treat him that way. But again, at this point in his career, Eddie was having some back issues, and he was just missing a lot of games. I think between the physical breakdown and probably even due to alcoholism, he was really starting to suffer in his numbers as he went along. This card here, the 66 in a SGC 8.5, a really nice card. I know Mike had mentioned about the airbrushing, and I agree totally. I just, some of the airbrushing that Topps did with some of their cards is just atrocious, and this here is one also. And but it's a really a nice card. 1966. This was really probably one of the last good years that Eddie Mathews was having in 1966. He was, again, as I said, starting to kind of wear down. And, he had, at 1966, he was 14 years into his career. So he was definitely a veteran. Now, this is a recent pickup, and this is one of my favorite cards. I just love, first of all, I love the 65 set. And this is a nice PSA 7. But I just really like the pose with the bat on the shoulder and the palm tree in the background. Just a great, great card. And just real happy to have that. It's kind of a high number in the 65. It's number 500. And you get into the higher grades, it can get a little bit expensive. But just a really, really nice card. And if you look at the back, you can see his home run total in 1964 was 23. And at that point, he had 445 home runs. Well, Eddie finished with 512. So you do the math, he hit 67 more home runs between 65, 66, 67, and 68. But look at some of those early numbers of his career, especially that 1959 year, 46 home runs, 114 RBIs, a 306 average. I mean, Eddie Mathews was an absolute monster at the plate. Here's a nice 1964 BCCG in a 8. Real nice card. Again, I like the pose with the bat on the shoulder, and he's at home there, County Stadium. I've been there many, many times to watch the Brewers play, but just a really nice 64 card. And again, you look at those numbers on the back. Just Eddie Mathews, I'm sorry about the zoom there, but he just had some just unbelievably good years. And what's really interesting is that Eddie Mathews, early on in his career, when he got into the late 50s, a lot of people thought that he was going to be the one to break Babe Ruth's record because he was just absolutely crushing the ball. And this, again, is one of my favorite cards, 1963 Topps. Again, the bat on the shoulder, you see the same thing, again, from the 65 and the 64. Kind of that same pose. They're not the same, obviously, because you can see the palm tree, and the stadium is different in 64 and 65. But just a great card, one of my favorite cards, and they can really be difficult in the border there. You can see the one fisheye right above the T. But this can be a hard card to find in a decent grade. Very hard card. Now, this is one of the cards I'm going to be looking to make a pickup on at Strongsville. 1962. I do not have a graded one. I have about 3 of the raw cards, and this is probably, you can see how off-centered it is in that corner. The bottom corner is a little bit dinged, and so I'm going to be looking to make a nice pickup on the 62 Topps at Strongsville. So one of the cards I'm looking for in a good grade. So it's going to be one of the pickups I'm looking for in Strongsville. This is a card that's kind of grown on me over time. This 1961 and PSA 6. Nice card. And just really enjoy it. I've had this one for quite a while. Picked that one up a while ago. This is one of my favorite cards right here. The 1960. I like the 60 set. And it's a nice PSA 6. I like the pose of the fielder with the bat on the shoulder again. And just a really, really nice card. PSA 6. And this was after, I believe, his really big year. 46 home runs, 114 RBIs, 306 average. At this point in time, with Mathews and Aaron on that team, Eddie was still really the main guy on the Braves. Aaron was coming on. He was starting to really establish himself. But here's a nice, one of my favorite cards, PSA 7, the 60 All-Star. And, of course, that won't be included in the running total for the showdown. But here's a 1959, looking to do an upgrade because it's a PSA 6 miscut. You can see the miscut here, left to right. Pretty extensive. A nice card. I like the yellow card. Again, the bat on the shoulder. and looking to make an upgrade. It's not going to be a priority, but if I can find one, I'm going to do something and try to upgrade that 59. Here's a real nice card. I love these 58 All-Stars PSA 6. Really a nice card. I know this is not included in the Showcase Showdown, but just a good card to have. And this is one I've got probably a few months ago, the 58 in a PSA 6. Really nice card. And it's grown on me over time. I kind of like the poses with the bat on shoulder. The headshot ones typically are not my favorite, but this is a really nice card here. And you can see the little fisheye right on the red bill of the cap under the M there. But all in all, a really nice card. And this 57 is another one I may be looking to do an upgrade on. PSA 4. Like the card, but looking to maybe do an upgrade on this 57. And this was the year, of course, that the Braves won the World Series. 4-3. And the bases were loaded in Game 7 against the New York Yankees. And the guy hit a smash hit right to Eddie Mathews at third base, made a really nice play, stepped on the bag for the force out, and the Braves were the World Series champs. And just a great moment in Milwaukee Braves history. A great moment for Eddie Mathews, Hank Aaron, and of course the rest of the team. This is a really nice card here. This 56. A nice PSA 6. Sliding into base. They're playing the Dodgers. Looks like Eddie's taking the man out. The ball's laying there on the diamond. And just a really nice picture of Eddie Mathews. And just such a nice card. Beautiful 56 and a PSA 6. And a 1955 and an SGC 8. This is a really nice card. Really nice card. SGC 8. Not a whole lot of PSA 8s or SGC 8s, 9s in this 55 set. So really, really happy to have this. And I've got an SGC 6 that I'm going to be taking to Strongsville. Hopefully looking for some trade. And here's a nice 54 Topps PSA 6. I've had this one for a little while. The blue background's kind of growing on me. At first I didn't care much for it, but it's starting to grow on me. And I love the Indian logo up there. The Braves logo. Just a really, really sharp card. But a nice 54 PSA 6 again with the bat on shoulder. Nice smile for Eddie Mathews. Great card. Here's a 54 Bowman in a 5. Really nice card. Again, bat on shoulder. And the 54 Bowmans are just really, really nice cards. This is an older SGC label, but still just a super nice card. Really happy to have it. I should go back and talk about the 55. I'm sorry. I need the 55 Bowman, and that's one card I'm looking to get in as high grade as I can find. There's, I believe, 85 that are graded in an 8, and I've come across 2 of them here in the last 3 weeks and could not swing a deal with either one. So we'll see what we can find at Strongsville. And then lastly is the 53 Topps. This is SGC 4. Just a really nice card. So hard to find them with this black border at the bottom. And just a nice card. Love the smile on the face. Just a spectacular card. And I know Ash, I did email him, one of the dealers that's going to be at Strongsville, and he's got a SGC 8. And that may be a little bit out of my sandbox, but we'll see what happens. But just a great SGC 4 here. And I do not have the 52 Topps, so that ends my run of Eddie Mathews cards. But I just really like the 53. It's one of my favorite cards. And I really enjoy this 56. Just a really nice card. So many good cards that Eddie Mathews made, or had. Not that he made them. But anyways, my total score not including the All-Stars. And I know I have to count the 62 as a raw card, no points. And I blanked out my 55 Bowman, the 53 Bowman, and the 52 Tops, and I came up with 187.0. So I don't know if I beat Chris and Mike in the Showcase Showdown. I didn't hear their point totals at the end, but I just wanted to share my Eddie Mathews collection, and I really enjoy collecting all things Eddie Mathews. As you can see, the picture back here that's been signed by Mathews, 512 home runs. And I personally think he is the second greatest third baseman behind Mike Schmidt. Even if you don't have to, even when you look at WAR ratings, he's higher than George Brett, Wade Boggs, Chipper Jones. He comes in second place only to Schmidt. And but if you even take away just the WAR ratings and you look at Eddie Mathews' career, I think I make a strong argument for him being the second greatest third baseman of all time. And I made a video probably, it was right after the Hall of Fame announcement, and comparing my top 5 third basemen and kind of going through the rationale behind it. But I have Mike Schmidt as number 1, Eddie Mathews as number 2. I believe I had George Brett at number 3. And I've always had thought maybe Brett was higher. Brooks Robinson is a great third baseman, but his offensive numbers are just, when you really start to look at him, you'll see his numbers are probably the least of the 5 great third basemen. But just wanted to share this video, and just I'm looking to get the 53 Bowman, the 55 Bowman. The 52 Tops is out of my league right now for this year. That's something maybe a year or two down the road, but I'm sure going to enjoy maybe looking at some, and they're just a fantastic card. So everybody, I hope you enjoy this video, and we'll see many of you on Friday at Strongsville. Have a great day.